There's a lot of companies or businesses when they start, they do run at a loss for the first 2 or 3 years. Do they have to make a profit?
A very good question, Nerada. Yes and no. But the question is if it's in your first or the second year, and if you're not having a profit, there can be a question, how can you meet your obligations exactly, pay someone. But that does not prevent someone from applying and be successful at the end. If you have a project or a business plan, and that includes the benefit of an overseas person or a particular person, and can improve their business, and because of that projection, because you can get an overseas, that's the need. So you have to emphasize that need to the department and show through the business plan that through this you can meet your obligations as well as be successful.
Dinesh, I'd like to go back to that section of the Act that you mentioned before, Section 140E, subsection 1, that provides a person must be approved as a sponsor if prescribed criteria is satisfied. Does that mean a person in the physical sense, or can a company be characterised as a person? How do you go about that?
Yes, it's a difficult question to ask because the way it's been described or not described in law. The Act provides that regulations may be established to identify a process for the delegates to approve a person as a sponsor. So we have to go through that process to identify the person that is or can be eligible to become a standard business sponsor.
How do they decide who this mysterious person is?
Yes, again emphasizing the fact that the person is not defined in the Act. So in the absence of further definition, we have to check other laws. For example, the Act's Interpretation Act provides, I might read it to you, I'm a fan of reading everything, so you'll get an idea. In any act, this is what the Act Interpretation Act says, in any act, unless contrary intention appears, expressions used to denote persons generally, such as the person, the party, someone, anyone, no one, one another, whoever, includes a body politic, a corporate as well as an individual. I'm sure people are now more confused than they were initially, but that's the answer. But the combined effect of that act and immigration law is that a person for the purpose of immigration law can include the answer to your question, can be an individual, a body corporate, a partnership, a company, an incorporated entity. So that's the simplest answer I can give in relation to a complicated situation.
I think it could be simpler. Can you just clarify and give us some examples that would fit within that accepted criteria?
Yes, Emily, if I may say, a person can be a sole trader. If you're talking about structures, a partnership, a proprietary company, a public company, a government department, a statutory authority, a not-for-profit organization, educational institution, a religious institution. So those are...
This goes on.
Yes, correct.
So it's pretty interesting to note that a sole trader can apply. Does that mean as a sole trader or an investor establishing their own business, they can apply too?
The answer probably at the end would be, rather than me complicating it further, is no, because of certain situations.
Why is that?
Yes, because the law requires an employment contract, because you are employing someone to work here. And the question is, it can be an arguable point, someone might have other questions, then the sole trader has to employ yourself, and that doesn't sit well. So the contractual relationship between the employer and the employee is not there. So you'll have difficulties in that aspect.